So it is definitely going to happen. Another stimulus bill is absolutely going to be passed. It's just a matter of when and what is going to be on it. So much news about this floating around. You probably had brothers or sisters or neighbors call you up about it and say, hey, you're going to get paid another $2,000 a month for 6 months. Is that true? Not really, no. The goal of this episode is to tell you guys exactly what's factual and what's not, so that you can be the smartest person in the room, or, because we're in quarantine, the smartest person on the phone, letting others know what's really going on. So I'm going to break it all down for you and let you know what's really happening with the next stimulus bill and where we exactly are. And before you give me all the comments about how we haven't even gotten paid from the first stimulus bill, I know that already. I've just done so many videos on the first one. I'm ready to sort of move forward a little bit, but if you need any help with that, I have tons of videos where I've done some good Q&As on it and some helpful advice, so please look those up. But I think it's time to look forward to the next stimulus bill, and I want to make sure that you know exactly what's going on with it. So it's important to know when any bill gets passed, it doesn't just go through one step. It goes through 5 steps. It goes through the first step, which is the babbling step. It goes through the second step, which is the preliminary bill step. It goes through a third step, which is the House deliberation and vote, then the Senate deliberation and vote, and finally the signing by the President of the United States or the vetoing by the President of the United States. So where exactly are we? Well, we're past the babbling step. The babbling step happened from about April 1st to about April 10th. That's where Donald Trump came out and said, we need a new bill. We're going to put infrastructure on it. And yeah, we're going to probably give another payout to the American citizens. And then Stephen Mnuchin came out and said, we need more money for small businesses. And then Nancy Pelosi came out and she was like, yeah, we need to have $10 trillion more for everyone. And then Chuck Schumer was just like, basically the parrot on Nancy Pelosi's shoulder saying the same exact thing. And so that was the babbling step, which I released a video on. If you want to check it out, you can. And it has a whole bunch of information about what people were saying. But we're past that step now. We're on the preliminary bill step, and this is the thing everyone is talking about right now. This is the point at which Congress people get their names out there by introducing really crazy ideas that could never actually happen in the real world, but they might as well put it out there because the media will run with it, and it'll make them a little famous for a short amount of time. And the preliminary bill that everyone is talking about right now was from 2 House Democrats, Tim Ryan and Khanna. It looks a little bit like this. So if you want to torture yourself a little later, you can read through it. I will read you the link below. But if you're like most of us and you just want to know what the important part is, it's this. Every American adult aged 16 years and older making under $130,000 would receive $2,000 a month. Married couples earning less than $260,000 would get $4,000 a month, and qualifying families with children would receive $500 per child, capped at 3 children. And everyone would continue to get paid this amount of money every month until the unemployment problem got fixed, or for about 6 months. How much would something like this cost? $500 billion per month. And so if it went for the 6 months, that would be $3 trillion for this bill alone. So is this going to pass? As the great Mr. T said, you have a better chance surviving a forest fire with gasoline shorts. There is no chance anywhere that this bill as written is going to pass. And by the way, it's still only on step 2, the preliminary bill step. This thing has to be debated in the House and passed in the House, then debated in the Senate and passed in the Senate. There is no way this bill is even making it past the House, and the House is where it has the best hope of actually staying together somehow. But it's not going to, because it would lead to economic disaster. So it will get shot down and ripped apart in step 3, which is the House deliberations and the voting stage. And when does step 3 start? It's going to start April 20th because that's when the House comes back into session. And they are going to deliberate until probably May 3rd. Now, it could be longer than May 3rd, but I think they're going to get it done by May 3rd because they're going to give you the same talking points they gave before, which is this is necessary. We need to do it now and we need to pass this fast. Then the U.S. Senate comes back into session on May 4th, and they're probably going to start deliberating immediately on whatever the House passes. Now, the Senate is a lot more conservative, so whatever the House puts together, they're going to rip that apart even more, change it up into another bill, and then they're going to vote on it. By the way, you're going to have a lot of arguing on this one. You know why? Because it's called the last hurrah. This is the last chance all of these representatives get to pile in all the different garbage that they want to put in this bill. So they're going to do just that. Now, once it finally passes the House and the Senate, then it has to go to the President of the United States, and he's going to vote on it or veto it. There is no way he's going to veto anything that goes through the Senate. If he vetoes it, it is political disaster for him, so he's definitely going to sign it, as long as it has an infrastructure part in that bill. So what is the real bill going to look like? I think it's going to look something like this. $350 billion for new infrastructure and infrastructure upgrades. $350 billion for small businesses, very similar to the last bill which was paid for small businesses, and all of that money is gone already. $250 billion to bolster unemployment throughout the rest of this pandemic. $150 billion for hospitals and healthcare. $350 billion for U.S. citizens, and for good measure, $250 billion for slush funds. Slush funds basically meaning all of those things that these representatives are going to pile on in there because they have a lot of friends in a lot of different places. So in total, this new bill is probably going to cost $1.7 to $2 trillion. Now, this is a complete guess on my end. But the reason I'm making this educated guess is because by the time it goes through the House and the Senate, it needs to resemble something that could actually get passed. Not some crazy idea of paying families up to $5,000 a month for 6 months that costs $3 trillion. That is not going to happen. So now you guys are in the know. You now know the 5 steps of passing a bill through the United States government. And so when all of your friends or family members call you up saying that they know we're going to be getting paid $2,000 a month, you could tell them the truth. And if you enjoyed this information, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you can be updated when we release a new video giving you the best information out there. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed it. We will catch you next time.